With us to dig deeper into Yahoo is Ryan Jacob, chairman and fund manager at Jacob Asset Management. His firm has held shares of Yahoo for several years now, and he agrees with Dan Loeb that more aggressive action is needed. He joins us now from LA via Skype. Also, Cory Johnson, our editor-at-large, is with us as well. So, Ryan, let's start with you. What is your take on this march by Dan Loeb, this assault on Yahoo's board?
Well, I think, the latest news isn't terribly surprising, even with the management change at Yahoo. I don't think Dan feels that enough has really changed in terms of the direction of the company, and they haven't been aggressive enough. And I think as shareholders for a number of years, I'm sure Third Point's looked at, Yahoo's track record. They have a point, and, they really need to aggressively make moves on the Asian assets and set a more cohesive long-term strategy.
What do you think about this Microsoft thing, Ryan? I mean, what could he actually learn from that?
Well, I think, at this point, it's a proxy battle. He's looking to nominate himself and other directors that are favorable to his firm to the board. So any information he can get as a result of previous transactions that may make the existing board members not look terribly well in terms of their ability to negotiate will only help his cause. So I think it really is just a situation where he's just looking to gather all the information he can get to make his case the best way possible.
Cory, what could Yahoo be hiding? I mean, why don't they want these documents to be seen?
Look, think about what the documents are, right? He's talking about the internal emails at Yahoo about the acquisition that they turned away. They said to Microsoft, we don't want your money. It was obviously the wrong decision. So there's two kinds of things you're going to find there. You're going to find the board members carefully looked at it and foolishly said, we look at this really carefully, it's a bad idea. That's wrong. Or they didn't look at it carefully, and not looking at it carefully would be abdicating their professional responsibility. So there's nothing that he could find there that would make the board look good. Any documents he's going to find there is going to help Dan Loeb make the case, this board stinks, we need change, here's proof.
Speaking of the board, Ryan, Dan says he's lobbying other shareholders like yourself to vote for these board members he suggested. Do you like these board members? Will you vote for them?
Well, we haven't made a decision yet. Right now, obviously, we're still evaluating the situation. I think, unfortunately, this board has had years, to really, besides even the Microsoft botched transaction, they've had a number of years to better position Yahoo to remain in a leadership position globally and really transition with, the new real phase of the internet we're going through in terms of more social, more mobile internet access. Yahoo has really fallen behind. And at the end of the day, when you change your CEO every year or two, at some point the board is responsible. And so I think it's justified.
Cory, what's the likelihood that these board members suggested by Dan Loeb will actually get elected?
Well, as Dan, to Ryan's point, there have been 5 CEOs in 5 years. Dan Loeb makes that case in this letter, and there's a pretty convincing argument the company doesn't have any clear direction. I think that what we're finding when we talk to people like Ryan is almost every asset manager we talk to says, I want a better board than Yahoo has had. And here Dan Loeb is saying, I've got a better board, and you haven't even listened to my advice. You don't seem to care what your largest shareholder thinks. So I've got to think that a lot of outside shareholders are going to vote with him. The question is, can they overcome the insider stakes held by David Filo and by Jerry Yang, which is a sizable portion of the shares outstanding.
Ryan, how do you think Scott Thompson is doing so far? It hasn't been very long, but so far Yahoo has filed a patent lawsuit against Facebook. The Alibaba talks were on, now they're off, now they're maybe back on, reportedly. What do you think of the job he is doing up to this point?
Well, it's been a short period of time. So far, pretty good. So far, pretty good. I mean, all of the indications are that he's going to really slim down Yahoo and focus more on more money-making transaction opportunities for Yahoo, getting them more deeply involved in social. I think it's important. But, to hit the other point, which is, this whole Microsoft situation really was a botched transaction. And now we're having a little bit of a new situation with the Asian assets, where if it's handled correctly, really you can make the case that those Asian assets are worth the $15 a share and change that Yahoo's trading at now. So they have the opportunity now if they're able to bring this to a resolution favorably for shareholders, to really make a case that maybe changes in the board aren't necessary. Their window is quickly closing here, but they have a chance.
Well, the fight is just beginning. Ryan Jacob of Jacob Asset Management and our own editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, thanks so much for weighing in. We will stay tuned.